Tammy suddenly pulled off his wig. Tunde, holding a bucket of water, poured it all over his face. Bobo tried to run, but as he did, the fake bra pads he wore fell off. The crowd gasped. Laughter and mockery filled the air. The shame was too much. From that day, they gave him a name, Bobrisky, a name born from ridicule.
In a faraway village, behind tall palm trees and dusty red roads, there lived a family that everybody envied, the Brown family. They were blessed with 4 beautiful children, 3 girls and 1 precious son. The last one, James, but everybody calls him Bobo. The boy who would one day become the talk of the entire village. The boy who would one day be called Bobo the Gay-briel. The Brown family was not poor. Mr. and Mrs. Brown sold gari in the city and made good money. Their children had everything other village children could only dream of: gadgets, toys, fine clothes. While others ran barefoot chasing goats and rolling tires on the red earth, the Brown children sat proudly in front of their house, watching videos on shiny tablets and eating city snacks. They were loved, envied, and admired. But little did anyone know that same comfort would one day open a strange door in their lives. Among them was Jemima, the eldest daughter, bold, beautiful, and full of dreams. She wanted to be a model. She would pose around their compound wrapping her mother's cloth and balancing baskets on her head, calling herself the supermodel Jemima of Brown. Her siblings clapped and laughed, but Jemima wanted more. She wanted makeup, wigs, fancy clothes, all the things she saw online. One day, she begged her mother for a makeup set, and Mrs. Brown, who loved her children dearly, bought her one on her next trip to the city. That was how Jemima's passion began. She started watching makeup tutorials online, painting her face and the faces of her sisters. But when her sisters were away, she had no one to practice on. One sunny afternoon, she looked around and saw her little brother, Bobo, sitting quietly on the floor playing with his toy car. She smiled and said, "Bobo, come, let me make you fine small." At first, Bobo frowned, but when he saw the bright colors and brushes in her sister's hand, he agreed. Jemima sat him down, brushed his face with powder, drew his brows, painted his lips, and fixed false lashes on his small eyes. When Bobo looked in the mirror, he laughed. He looked so different, so cute, so beautiful. Jemima clapped, proud of her work. That was how it began. Every day, Jemima practiced on Bobo's face, and Bobo began to love it. He liked how beautiful he looked. Soon, Jemima started dressing him up with her old dresses, wrapping scarves around his head. The siblings would catwalk around the house, laughing, pretending to be models on the runway. It was fun at first, until things began to change. Bobo began to behave differently. He no longer wanted to play football or run with the village boys. He didn't care about his toy cars anymore. He wanted wigs instead of haircuts. He wanted dresses instead of shirts. He began to talk softly and laugh like his sisters. Every morning he would cry to wear a gown. At first, everyone thought it was just a joke, but the villagers started whispering, "Why does that boy walk like a girl?" they asked. "Why is his face always painted? This is not right." But Mr. Brown was proud and quick-tempered. "Leave my son alone," he shouted. "You villagers, gossip will not allow you to progress." So he stopped his children from playing with others. He thought he was protecting them, but he was only closing them inside a world of confusion. Time passed. The children grew up. Jemima eventually got married and left the village. One afternoon, the remaining 3 siblings were walking through the market. Their makeup was perfect, their hair well done, their dresses neat and stylish. The villagers admired them, unaware that among the 3 girls was their only brother, Bobo. He had grown into a beautiful young man with soft features, long hair, and gentle steps. His voice was calm, his manner graceful. No one suspected he was not a lady. The men admired them, the women whispered, but Bobo remained silent. He didn't speak much in public. Until one fateful day, Tammy and Tunde, 2 young men from the village, had been watching Bobo closely. They had their suspicions. "There's something strange about that one," Tammy said. "She's too quiet, too careful. And have you noticed, sometimes we see something bulging under her gown?" That day, they decided to find out the truth. As Bobo walked down the road, Tammy suddenly pulled off his wig.
Tunde, holding a bucket of water, poured it all over his face. Splash! The makeup washed off, the lashes fell, and there, standing in the middle of the road, soaked and trembling, was Bobo, the only son of Mr. and Mrs. Brown. The whole street froze. Then chaos erupted. "Ah, so it's you!" someone screamed. "A man pretending to be a woman. Ewo, wonder shall never end." Bobo tried to run, but as he did, the fake bra pads he wore fell off. The crowd gasped. Laughter and mockery filled the air. The shame was too much. From that day, they gave him a name, Bobrisky, a name born from ridicule, a name that would follow him wherever he went.
Before I continue, if this is your first time watching our story, don't just listen quietly. Hit that subscribe button and join our growing family of story lovers. We share shocking, true life, and emotional African folktales every week. Go on and subscribe. Now, let's journey deeper into Bobo's story.
When Bobo got home, he cried bitterly. His sisters comforted him, but his parents were silent. The shame was heavy on their hearts. That same night, when the moon rose high, they quietly packed his things and sent him away to live with a relative in the city. But life there was no better. His relatives mocked him too. They cut his hair, threw away his makeup, and forced him to dress like a man. He felt empty, lost, unwanted. One morning, Bobo ran away. He wandered the streets, lonely and hungry, until one day he met someone, a man dressed as a woman. His name was Bella. Bella smiled at him. "You look like one of us," he said. "What's your name?" Bobo thought for a while and replied, "They call me Bobrisky." Bella laughed and took him home. Inside that house were other men like Bella, men who dressed as women, painted their faces, and lived together freely. They welcomed him with joy. "Bobrisky, you are one of us," they said. For the first time in a long time, Bobo felt accepted. He felt he had finally found people who understood him. But one night, something happened that changed everything. While he was sleeping, there was a knock on his door. Thinking it was Bella, he opened it with a smile. But it wasn't Bella, it was two of the others, standing there with strange smiles. "Bobrisky, it's time you prove you are one of us." He didn't understand what they meant until they explained. What he heard shocked him to his bones. They wanted to force him into an act he never imagined, something that went beyond dressing and makeup. Fear gripped him. He shouted "no" and ran out of the house into the cold night. That was when he realized that he had been naive. He had been playing with something he did not fully understand. Bobo returned to his village a broken man. He went home, knelt before his parents and wept. He begged for forgiveness for the shame he had brought upon them. His parents held him close, forgiving him with tears in their eyes. It wasn't easy for him to change, but he did. He began to live quietly as a man again. He stopped wearing makeup, though sometimes he still admired the brushes and colors he once loved. Years passed. Bobo got married to a beautiful woman named Marvelous. And though he no longer painted his own face, he used his makeup skills to make his wife look stunning every day. The villagers still teased him and called him Bobrisky, but this time he didn't cry. He smiled because he had finally found peace. And that is the story of Bobo the Gay-briel, a tale that reminds us, when you see a child walking in confusion, correct them with love before the world corrects them with laughter. So tell me, what do you think of this story? Have you seen something like this before? Let us talk and learn, because every story carries a lesson.
Hit like if you enjoyed this story and subscribe so you never miss the next captivating story. And please share this story to let others experience the lessons of Bobo the Gay-briel. Your support keeps the stories alive.